why it smells super shit. Well, my favorite
Jenny's here.
non-Bowman ship in the US
Okay, can
I'm
everybody
almost healthy, Bowman. What's your excuse?
The Spider Queen Princess one's pretty good.
No!
It's pretty good. Spider Queen and the spider guy on the Stargate.
Oh yeah.
Lar or whatever his name is.
Spider guy.
Spider guy. Spider guy. Lives in space and he's a spider guy.
I mean, he has a whole theme song. That just
Just makes it
I think
better.
Spider Queen needs a theme song.
Yeah.
we'll get one. We'll get one.
That's the notes on what we're going to talk about. But obviously, we'll talk about other things. Also, please don't make me be the moderator. So I'm going to need one of you guys to talk instead. Okay. I'm only mildly handicapped.
Okay.
I thought it was more everyone panic.
No panicking. Panicking's a free action.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about my Muppet game I'm making because I'm gonna debut it at UConn. So I just called it it rhymes with puppet. I figured I can kind of do whatever I want with it. So
I'm just gonna turn my light on real quick. I should have done it before, but I think I actually
Yeah.
need to do it.
I gave you a whole 5 minutes, Calvin.
I can't hear you. I'm too far away.
Yeah, and his headphones have wireless.
I can't hear you. You're too far away. Oh my god, you guys are so rude to me.
Yeah, what's that line?
Okay.
I can't hear you. There's a tank. That's what it is from Ant-Man.
Okay, is everybody ready?
No.
I'm gonna push the button. And
Ready's a
Okay.
strong word.
Alex, you got what you're gonna talk about right off the bat?
Yeah.
Do you need me to do it?
No, I got it. I got this.
Okay, so we got 3, 2,
Are we?
1.
Are we live?
We're live. I said 3, 2. Oh my god, theater kids.
We're starting off great.
Machine, which is a line we've not heard in many a day. For
Many a time.
Hi, everybody. My name is Alex. These are my friends, the Stormbreakers, and we are in control. The inmates are running the asylum. There's nothing that Aaron can do to stop us.
Nope.
Helter Skelter.
We control the horizontal and the vertical.
True. Many dimensions. Magnets, bitch!
Hey, dimensions
so yeah.
are my gig. I control the dimensions.
You can
You
control
play with
mine.
metal.
I control the stabby things.
I feel like I'm in a box, and I feel like that box should be a little bigger.
Well,
So yeah,
the
hi,
problem is
welcome
we made
to
the
your
box
regularly scheduled programming on Tuesday nights. This is City of Destiny, but tonight we are without our illustrious GM. We're without Jemmy, and yeah, we're just going to do a little bit of a talk back, a little bit of discussion. Ogrick's going to control the head, which is really nice of him to do so. Og's in really good graces with me right now because Og is organizing a private Guardians of the Galaxy game for me to play Star-Lord in, and I'm very, very excited for that. Because for like 10 years, I felt like I've protected a treasure that others can possess, but not myself.
And how it feels.
And yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit about what's been going on in this season of City of Destiny. We're gonna chat about some of our theories. We're gonna talk about our whiteboard of Doom, which I feel like has way too many Crucible problems on it.
I mean, you brought that on yourself.
I mean,
Crucible
stop
is the
having
problem.
problems.
Yeah.
I tried to solve my problems, but then my problems were like, I'm not home right now, so
Yeah, I
please go
think-
get my penthouse out of the ocean.
I think Taylor Swift made that song about you.
Yeah. You You try to solve your problems and you create 3 more without actually solving the first one.
Yeah, it's my superpower. But let's all introduce ourselves and the character we play. And I think there was a question of the day.
There
right?
was a question of the day, because I specifically asked Aaron if he had a plan for the question of the day, because the question of the day always seems to be our downfall later in season, because we all forget what we answer to these questions, but I know Aaron doesn't forget. So, the question was, what do you think that Aaron is planning to surprise you with this season that you have already figured out?
All right, I'll go first.
I was like, I
Since
can
I was
repeat the
already-
question as we go around the search.
So,
Almost.
hi everybody. My name's Alex. I'm the creative director here at the Untold Stories Project, as well as the line developer for Mutants Masterminds and the author of the Titan City Chronicles. And I play Crucible, aka Ethan Blackwell, aka the Kleenex Tensile Strength Tester of Magnetism. Never mind, that sounds bad. I'm going to take that one back. It's too late. So,
Yeah.
as for the question of the day, I think Aaron has something very big in store planned for my father, Archer Blackwell, but I'm not going to guess what that is. I think the thing that Aaron's going to surprise me with that I've already sort of figured out is Crucible putting all these nanites in his body every time he comes across them is a bad idea. And it is not recommended by 3 out of 5 dentists. And with that, I'll pass it
Problem
over.
is, Crucible doesn't go to the dentist
It's true.
because he thinks he can make his own fillings.
I can. Just watch.
He just keeps collecting them from other people.
Damn.
It's like the blood. It's like the freezing of the blood. You need to start using people's fillings in their mouths as weaponry.
I'm like the ultimate version of that little elf from the claymation Rudolph. I'm going to be a dentist, not a superhero. Yeah. And it'll be great when I'm a Yeti. I'm so here for it. I'll
And
pass
God
it over
forbid
to
when a villain with braces faces off against him.
That's what we need. We need to figure out if the intangible kid has braces.
My time
Oh my
has
God.
come.
Oh.
Inertia's orthodontist is our greatest ally. And I will pass it to my partner, Crimea Puppy.
Hi, I'm Ann Puppy. I play Kione, the resident Stabby, and the Avatar of the Storm. To answer Aaron's question of the day, I'm not really figuring any of it out because I don't know if I think I might have said this on stream. I don't remember, but when I first started doing City of Destiny, I had never done any of this stuff before. I had no idea what I was doing. Have never played before. I played maybe like a month or 2 at a D&D game, and then everybody started dating everybody, so the group broke up. That was only partially my fault, but that's neither here nor there. So I didn't have any idea what I was doing. So Aaron made my character sheet for me. And that was, 4 years ago? So I looked at the character sheet a lot, trying to figure out what it was all about. And then we come to this season, and I agreed to become the Avatar of the Storm. I then looked at my character sheet, and I was like, oh shit, look, he added Avatar of the Storm for me. No, I looked back at the original character sheet, and it was on the original character sheet. I never noticed it. So for 4 years, he knew I was going to say yes, even though I didn't even know it was a thing I was going to say yes to. So that was why I'm not going to be good at this, because I tried really hard to give Aaron very little things that he could do to me, and he has done all the things to me. So,
Except, leave your parents completely up in the air.
yeah. So, well, no, I had very distinct parents. I let him do what he wanted with the idea that I was adopted, and that's where that all came into. So,
Well,
I just
and
thought
then
he
you
was
hitched
gonna-
your wagon to me, and I'm just a bit walking. I'm going to create my own problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hitched your wagon to him well after you knew what he was like.
yeah, so I feel like I have not made good choices, and I feel like if I give Aaron anything else, then I'm going to ruin all of it for me. So I'm not going to give him anything. And with that, I'll pass it to Gary.
Hi, I'm Gary, playing the Star Knight, Cam Cole. Man, question of the day is a tough one because Aaron watches this and then sees what you predicted and changes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Throw everything off. I've not put all my notes together because I had to grab a different notepad, but my big guess is Collapsor, as he devours things, he spits them back out the other end. So it's almost like a Big Bang situation. It's going to reboot a universe or merge two together. So you have like a amalgam comics kind of deal.
That's pretty good.
Really interesting that you said that because I'm still working on what Collapsar does in lore for the official Eminem stuff.
We should snatch some random other like Eminem podcaster stream out there and have an amalgam universe with them.
That would be great. Like totally unrelated to us and any just.
It would be hilarious if we did it with Don't Kill My Character because they're also an Earth Prime, so it's just an amalgam universe with our own universe. But slightly different, slightly off.
They're from the Midwest, and we're just like, oh God, who are you people?
Or the Stormbreakers. No, you're not.
We know the Stormbreakers. You're no Stormbreakers.
Oop, I'm just gonna scooch by you real quick. Just
Oop.
Here's the real pull. Everybody except Calvin is Canadian in that universe.
Whoa!
Yes.
What a twist.
I don't think we can do that because then Calvin will have to figure out how to be rude.
I can do that.
Calvin just
He says in like the most gentle, inoffensive way possible.
I feel like Calvin would just be like, he going straight, like, just like, I like my guns and my non-universal health care. Like, he would just, like, he would just be all American stereotypes, and I love it. I love it.
And we would all have to learn how to pronounce process properly.
Process? How do you pronounce process?
Well, I say process, but I always watch Canadian television shows and they say process.
Process?
Process.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how I know production is Canadian.
That's a different word entirely.
Go, Calvin.
Process is a
Do you see
noun,
schedule
process
right?
is a verb.
Oh,
Yeah, I'll pass it to Cal.
okay. Hey everyone, I'm Calvin, and on normal nights I play the spectacular Spider Queen. Tonight I'm just hanging out and having fun.
Tonight I'm just doing shit.
To answer the question of the day, what do I think Aaron is planning to surprise you with that you've already figured out? That I've already figured out because I feel like whatever the chessmen have going on with the Black Art's going to be a surprise because I don't know what it is. But I feel like, I guess on a more personal level, Spider Queen's Anansi amulet. I kind of left the door open in the description for it to be a thing, and I don't know what it could be. That was one of those things I just left open for Erin to do whatever with, similar to like with her aunt. I didn't know what was going to be going on there, so I feel like maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something alive in there. It's maybe something that's had, because we've been dealing with people who are avatars of various otherworldly beings. So I think it would sort of fit with that, and who knows? It's probably something. I don't know what though. And I think that's going to be the surprise for both me and the character. And with that, I'll pass it over to Jenny.
Hi, I am Jenny. I play Portal. Equal parts the adult in the room and I wonder what happens when I push this button. The question of the day I don't have an answer to because there's no real drama at the moment in Portal's life aside from what's been foisted on him by these other knuckle fucks. His relationship is going well. He's got some things to talk to people about, but that'll happen when it happens. Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is I'm betting hard on pod people for that jerk of a CEO that we haven't met. Have we met this person at some point?
I have.
Okay.
I had dinner with
So-
him and tried to flirt with him a little bit.
Apparently you weren't his type.
I was not.
So yeah, that's like the only real theory I've got going on right now. Because whenever I hear someone's not been around for a couple of days and they're acting like a jerk, my first thought is always, oh, they must be a pod person. So, I guess it's just because, I'm naive and want to think people are good, at least in my fantasy world. So I don't have the GM to pass it up to, so am I passing it to Alex?
I guess.
Yeah, Alex, what are we doing today?
We're talking, chatting. Miss Violet's here. Ogrick's here. Warden Maximus is here.
Hi, everybody.
Are we doing like a recap, or are we just doing like a talk back with different topics that we're going over?
Yes.
Okay.
So I've
I
got
guess yes.
I've got a couple of topics that we want to discuss, but I figured we would kind of do our haphazard recap of what's been going on this season so far comparatively to what happened last season, as best of our ability, because I've witnessed both of our recaps from last season, and they are not successful recaps. No one can ever remember it fully in linear order. It is usually sporadic order. But I figure we'll probably just kind of do a quick little recap of what's going on, and then we'll get into the questions that we came up with. So, who would like to start with the brief recap?
Well,
Who's taking the best notes? Because my notes aren't pretty.
Hey,
It's
mine
always
started-
Calvin.
mine
The answer is
started off
always
good.
Calvin.
I'm sure I don't know what you mean.
Mine started off really good.
I know I had really good ones. Like they were long and detailed, and I was good. And then it got to one of my notes just says, Gravik, jerk.
Yeah.
That's
is
it.
true.
So let's see. We can start with session 1.
Yep.
We had Sir Alan Core. It brought a certain Hollywood star, or actually Maria brought a certain Hollywood star to the Star Knights. And Alan Core thinks he's worth training, and he became our wonderful Star Knight.
I don't want to derail us immediately, but I watched the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and Star Knight was in it, and it was very distracting the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, where are you going with? I was like, this has to have some sort of point. But it did. I'm very proud of you.
I tried to have a point. I was like, hey, Star Knight is a teenager.
Yeah, now you're going to start finding him in all these minor roles. Like he was in Walking Dead for a few episodes, and
He
catch him here. and
Smile
there.
too.
Yep. Yeah. He actually has like a larger part in the first one. He's like a main
Yeah.
character in the first Smile. And so one of the movies that I did is I have him as a part in Grin 2 as a nod to that.
Yeah, I mean, I was like even really detailed about when Whitney came on and when Bella came on. Like I described you guys' outfits and like everything, and then I just put Gravik, jerk. Like what the fuck?
But that's all you need for
Yeah.
Gravik. I mean,
And then I put My favorite note is I wrote in all caps as big as I could. My mom is Hannah. Because that's a picture of her and I love her so much. Okay, so we've got...
But to continue the recap.
Yes. Thanks for derailing me.
Now moving on to the
Alex.
third sentence of the first session.
Well, Star Knight didn't come on right away. He
No,
came
I
on
think
later.
He was
I
the
want
very first thing. Well, not Star Knight, but Sir Alan Core saying that he was worthy.
Yeah.
Then we learned that Professor C and Dr. Irons were leaving us.
Yep.
And it was very sad, but they need to go investigate their deaths. And our team processed it in their normal, completely healthy, completely mature ways.
Yep.
And oh yeah, Portal might have told Overwatch he loves him. Crucible was trying to work with Captain Oblivion to bring him to the light side. In retrospect, I think Oblivion maybe have had more influence on Crucible than the other way around. See recent throwing of Penthouse into Ocean.
Hey, I'm just harkening back to Superman's old days when he messed with landlords because they deserve it.
Oh, wait. He was in the Penthouse. You're saying he's the landlord? I mean, if you had let us know that, Portal would have...
He's rich enough to have a penthouse. Obviously, he's evil.
Yeah, but there's evil, but then there's landlord evil. Let's see here.
I wouldn't throw a poor person's house into the ocean.
Which is the bar we all try to reach
what actually
every
is the
day.
adjusted gross income level at which you would begin throwing people's houses into the ocean?
If you make 7 figures a year, you're going in the ocean.
Now, is that income or like wealth? I mean, are we talking capital gains tax?
I think gross. I think if you make $1 million gross in the ocean.
But while they spent a few days processing that sadness, Riley texted them to ask them if they wanted to meet at Starbase. She had something to say. As it so happened, Hexa and Spider Queen were also both at Starbase for their own reasons. I would imagine to get a cup of coffee. I don't know because I don't have the reason actually in my notes.
It was just getting coffee.
And then the dealer attacks a jewelry store across the street from where five superheroes were randomly grabbing cups of coffee and or conversing with one another. The newbies help us out and things don't go well. But then, at the end of the episode, some big guy in armor and a legally distinct lightsaber falls from the sky. When we come back the next week, turns out, oh, he's a good guy. He's a Star Knight. And so, after talking for 5 minutes, obviously, everybody can come right on into our base of operations.
Yep.
Because, again, Portal is the adult in the room when he's not pushing the big shiny red button.
I did sitting through that whole episode not saying a word, just like seeing when people would just be like, is something going to happen with this guy?
Star Knight reveals to us that apparently Telex is still alive and out in the universe. So we go to space, but there's nothing there because it's space. Riley managed to come by since our conversation was interrupted, and we hear that she has founded her own PR firm with money from the divorce.
Wait, we went to the ocean, not space.
We went to
We haven't
low
gotten the ocean
orbit.
yet. We went to low Earth orbit first.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because we were going to go fight those people who beat up Star Knight.
Yeah, we're looking for them.
Okay.
One of Riley's
I just realized, like, every time Riley has showed up this season, it has been to tell Crucible something.
She's your own little watcher.
Is that she has her own PR firm, and one of her clients is Thetis Investment, headed by Roger Lars, who bankrolls the Sentinels, and is apparently a really big jerk. And she's arranging to be PR for Star Knight. And so the team goes to Oz to celebrate. And Crucible stops by his dad's on the way. Everything looks fine, except for the fact that, nobody's home, but it does look like there is. And his computer has been completely wiped. I mean, just not a big deal, though. Nobody needed to follow that up.
Certain secret identities were revealed in that episode as well.
I'm sure there were.
That's when I started making the list of who knows Spider Queen's identity.
We got some people talking. Let's see here. Super should go to the music park and there should be ride pictures. Oh yes, absolutely. Ride pictures of the teams on their on roller coasters. June where they stand. Okay, the chat got weird.
What is happening?
I'm going back to the overview because the chat got weird.
Chad is talking about their dreams and they're doing their best.
Yeah.
Good for Chad.
So we go to Oz. Crucible shows up, and of course, like anytime we go to Oz, there's a fight. Junk Pile attacks the club, and it is big and crazy and chaotic. And the team decides, you know what? Let's go to Joyce now. Because we hadn't had enough chaos, I guess. The team discovered they were being scryed on, there was traces of tribal magic that is similar to Keone's aura. The next morning, Ethan helps Tommy try to recover his dad's hard drive. Hexa tries to run interference for Keone with her grandmother. Doesn't really work, and Grandma invites Keone to the Atlas Mountains, just like she did several years ago, which she promptly ignored the first time, and probably would have tried to ignore the second time, but wasn't so successful. This is when the team goes to the ocean to go to Telax's sunken base to get information on him. We get into a fight with Trident, and then Oryx shows up. Crucible absorbs some nanites, because that's what he does. And then we're going to go to space again. Let's believe going after Telex. Can somebody confirm that? Was that why?
We took a prisoner back to the.
Yeah, we were taking.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Auroch. Yeah.
So we captured him and got to meet some of the other Star Knights.
Yeah, they called themselves Trident.
And
Yep, we go to Citadel.
gave them
Crucible tries to text Riley because he had already forgotten that we were in space. Star Knight hands over Auric and the wreckage. We get introduction to Alan Core, so that's pretty cool. He tells us that Talax has been gathering forces, and it's unclear if he's doing so to stop Collapsar or impose his own kind of order. Before we can really think about that too much, where there is a distress call, there's a lore ship under attack. Mentat Elva needs to get to Lifandi, and the team heads off to help. People are trying to break into the ship. And it turns out, oh, wow, Praetor is also on that ship. And there's a fight. And we're successful.
Shit.
What was that?
Bella wrecks shit with her lightning bolts again.
Yep.
Yeah.
We get back to Earth, and Spider Queen makes a call to Ravenloft, or whatever the name of that city is called. I mean, they've got about the same vibe, right?
What are you talking about? Yeah, Farrowburg. The
To me,
bird.
and they got the same kind of vibe.
Fairburg, Ravenloft, same thing.
Lots of cries.
I think the Freedom of Dark may have been in Ravenloft at that point.
We were for a bit.
Crucible got reporter's help to conduct a little forensic accounting, trying to research what's going on with Dad. Dad is tied up in all kinds of fraud and traces back to City Hall. Someone's been asking for Hexa by last name, even though her being at the tower isn't publicly known. And it turns out Hexa gets a visit from her sister, her very exasperated sister. Keone gets a visit from an ice bird. She realizes she can't keep ignoring it and has to go see Grandma and asks Hexa to go with her. Hexa helps get Keone's lineage. She is the only daughter of an only daughter. There is something about fighting a flame bird and something about being the inheritor of the storm. Crucible asks for Portal's help to get to the North and South Poles to get something for a gift for Keone. Portal immediately assumes he's going to propose. Crucible does a terrible job lying to pretend that it's not that. Keone and Hexa arrive at the Alice Mountains and meet Aurora, Keone's grandma. The machine that drove away Telex has damaged the magic in the area. Aurora tells Keone that she must fight the flame bird. Keone is Keone. That's my note. Just Keone is Keone. I imagine that there's some kind of attitude involved. Keone sets a condition that Hexa must first be allowed to try to find her mother. Star Knight and Spider Queen go to the PR unveiling of the Princes of Amber series. Willem Dafoe is Willem Dafoe, which, means he's awesome. Stephen Colbert is there. And someone shows up in Commander's armor with bad intentions. We start off the next session. There was a firefight.
Quite literally.
Yes. We're wondering if Mars's armor has become sentient. At least that's my question. Mars asks him to return to I don't know who him is. Oh, my notes are getting a little off now. Keone is suspicious and angry with Crucible because he's terrible at hiding things. She freaks out on
I think
Hexa.
that should make her understand that he's not lying because he's bad at lying.
Except for the fact that now she knows he's lying, and that's kind of frustrating.
No.
Because being bad at lying, unfortunately, doesn't stop him from trying to lie. She freaks out on Hexa about her new title. Goes back beyond recorded history. It's passed matrilineally. Once a century, they have to battle the avatar of the Flame Bird. It's a must-win kind of thing, although I'm currently personally kind of doubting that. The previous Flame Bird was a Japanese member of the Axis superpowers, fought the Victory Squadron, which had an ice-based hero. Mom is a historical romantasy writer who is in France but seems to live in Alabama, maybe. Her work is well-researched, fiction, and based within European history. Crucible and Portal finish up their trip to the South Pole. Then, we get Reyna's voicemail. Unfortunately, he's unable to get back in touch with her. Not sure that won't be a problem. Nothing ever. No issue there. Hexa casts a ritual, finds out that someone in Aurora's bloodline took it over and kidnapped Keone, probably I have no idea what I'm trying to get at there.
So Bella was doing a scrying ritual. Jeez. Bella was doing a scrying ritual. And during the
I think
course
you
of
should talk like
that
that from now on. That's the only way you can talk.
We have discovered Spider Queen's voice.
Spider Queen.
So basically, this was when I had to disappear. I had to disappear and have an organ removed.
Yeah, that is when Cindy disappeared.
Yeah. So she was scrying to find my mom, and I ended up being basically zapped over there.
Oh, so the it is the scry. Someone in Aurora's bloodline took the scry over and kidnapped Keone. That's right.
Yeah, because basically, my mom had warded herself from the bloodline. So I couldn't search for her. My grandma could not search for her. But because Hexa isn't related to me, she was able to find her. And so because she found her, it like set off a trigger that pulled whomever it was that was searching, pulled that person to her, and that person was me.
So at the same time, Crucible and Portal go to Morris to try to get a way to contact Epiphany. I don't remember who Epiphany was or why we need to contact her.
Epiphany is the amazing supervillain who can say, "This is what's happening," and then it happens. She can alter reality with just her words.
Crucible runs off to find her when she doesn't respond. Then there's
This begins a trend of Crucible goes to find something and never finds what he's looking for.
I'll say she a pod person now too.
Hey, you know what though? But to be fair, right before that, he went to literal opposite ends of the earth and found exactly what he was looking for both times.
He's looking for snow. Poor cat.
Snow in the North and South Pole.
Hey, you know what though? It's summer. The cats.
I don't think that's how snow works.
We get trouble downtown. We have Inertia there with a new dastardly supervillain, apparently Reyna, who's now very clearly the Flamebird. We have another fight. Bad choices are made. Bad things happen. Crucible nearly dies. Keone.
I thought you were talking about the motorcycle guy.
Yeah,
motorcycle guy.
Poor motorcycle guy.
Keone nearly kills, I don't know, everyone.
I nearly tried to kill the Flamebird.
Yeah, but you wanted to kill everyone, be honest.
I mean...
No more than usual.
You wanted to kill them all, let God sort out the details, we know.
Yeah, it was mainly just the Flamebird, but my ice powers, being in that I was in such a rage, I did not notice that my ice powers did not work. They went straight through her.
That was our first fight with Inertia, where we found out he was a giant pain in the ass. The only one who really had any hope of actually hitting him was Portal, because he could fling his attacks right back at him. But it began another very annoying habit of this season of Aaron's rolls being really high when we don't want them to be, and really low when we don't want them to be. Because they were almost never really low, they were always ridiculously high. That night, after everything is kinda sorted, we find out that, yeah, she's the Flamebird, and Keone doesn't kill her.
Can't kill her.
What?
Couldn't kill her, because my powers don't work against her.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to make it look good. Yes, we know if you could have, you would have. But I was trying to make it sound like you had some kind of restraint.
No, she'd have been super dead.
But that night, Spider Queen is attempting to conduct a scrying spell she observed Hexa doing. Hexa decides to be...
I was just going to say, I was sitting on that for a while. Because I'm looking back through my own notes as we're going through this, and I had made the note of her seeing how the scrying ritual worked, and basically everything Spider Queen had personally seen to see if I could get away with this. I just didn't know about Bella's meddling magic sense.
Yes. That's because my next sentence was, Hexa decides to be nosy and condescending. Spider Queen is very polite and has Hexa check her work. And the scrying spell finds a teenage boy strapped to a gurney far below City Hall. Spider Queen's aunt is there. She's not happy, but resigned to what she's doing, and it looks like she's being held there by the chessmen. So we have an issue. What in the world is going on? What are the chessmen up to? So Spider Queen and Hexa have a little talk over what they have just found. Spider Queen used to come to Emerald City a lot to visit her aunt. On the last visit, she stuffed Spider Queen in a safe room, gave her the amulet that gives her her powers, and told her to stay put because there was an attack and it was a panic room. When she finally came out, Spider Queen, her aunt was gone and the place was wrecked. So she has come back to Emerald City to investigate. Not that any of us knew that, because Portal is the only one who believes in telling his teammates what things are going on.
She knew y'all for less than a week.
Yeah, valid.
I think at this point it might have been like 3 days.
The original plan was to just use like all the tech in the space, like all the computer labs and everything, to do research into Shannon Kane and anything else that might have gone on there. But then, yeah, when she saw the scrying ritual, it's like, well, let me just skip to the end of this mystery here.
We skip all this other shit. Let's go straight to the big good part.
Yeah.
A little bit later, the team, except Crucible, bond over surreptitiously listening to Hexa's conversation with her sister about her friend with benefits, with Hexa's encouragement. Spider Queen finally tells the team about her aunt, and the team jumps to work with speed that surprises Spider Queen because, oh yeah, we're a team. We want to help each other. And Portal takes everyone to the chessman base, and there's another fight. We discover that the chessmen, well, we don't discover, we are reminded that the chessmen that are humans and not robots, have little explodey things near their heart. And so every fight with them becomes a moral quandary, because subduing them in any way ends up killing them. And that feels great. We find out that the scientists there in that base work for Morgan Stern. Crucible's dad had been down there, but not for a couple of months. Crucible grabs a gun. That's right. Crucible grabs a gun, so I start to wonder if he's now the Punisher.
Does really well with the gun too.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm a gun guy. I need to get back to basics.
I'm a gun guy now.
The team rescues everyone left alive. Portal grabs a laptop in one of the cells that appeared to house runaways. And we bring everyone back to base. And then, I guess we'll mention that Keone proposed to Crucible, but I don't know. It seems to seem like a very big deal.
Yeah, it's not like I have the video or anything like
Ethan
that.
will
Yes,
build it.
Ka-chow!
Come down on the
Ka-chow! The video!
And to the ring to get back
We don't need
It is
You
cool now.
bouncing it.
Is what. I don't know how to make it work, so I just wanted to put it up there. But I do have the video. I clipped it. I also clipped where Keone proposed too, and I clipped the description of the ring.
Apparently, sometime in the intervening months, Alex has gotten a substantial haircut.
Yeah, finally was able to afford to go to the bar.
Hey, I know that feeling.
Times have been tough.
Let's see here. The team talks to Spider Queen's aunt. The chessmen are trying to figure out how to give people powers. Archer appears to have involved against his will. Though, honestly, if they had just paid him enough, he probably would have done it willingly. He eventually stopped being around, but we don't know why. The laptop that Portal had recovered belonged to Archer, and Archer was involved in experimentation on Stormers before he was kidnapped, because he's such a nice guy. That's actually why he was kidnapped. Next episode, we get the whiteboard. It's finally introduced. The team discusses their priorities. Archer is the top priority. So the team goes to question the scientists. All but the cat girl are lobotomized. The cat girl tries to manipulate the team's emotions. She reveals that she can't tell them anything. So, magic to the rescue. We set up a means of interrogating her that was really clever. Was so clever, in fact, that Jenny didn't quite understand how it was working and accidentally broke Catgirl's brain, and Portal didn't even realize that it happened because Jenny didn't really understand how it was working. Oops.
I think it was a technicality. I think we can still say Catgirl.
Probably, but I figured I would own the fact that, yeah, that happened because I afterwards realized, oh, I didn't understand how it was actually working.
Yeah, don't forget also that Ethan went on a date with Raina.
That's the word?
Yeah, it's in my notes.
I don't have that down, but to be fair, I don't write
It was
down
not-
things that didn't happen.
Ethan date with Raina.
I didn't write that down, but to be fair, it's only because I don't write down things that didn't happen. I did write that Ethan and Raina did have a conversation as very close friends with no romantic involvement whatsoever.
Yeah, no romantic involvement whatsoever.
Spider Queen and Portal have a heart-to-heart while taking Catgirl back to the room. Lots of discussion of what does it mean to do good and how can we be good and all that wonderful stuff that Portal just eats up. Starnet contacts the Citadel about Archer because one of the things we discovered was that Archer was taken from the lab by Auroch. We also learned that these Chessmen are not the same as the ones the original Starnet shut down. I then have written down Gravik, Isel, and Caress. I have no idea why. Those must be black. Oh, those must be the black knights that showed up. Is it Black Knights, right? That's their name?
Blackguard.
Yeah, those are the ones that jumped Star Knight, I think.
Yeah, I think that was, they were part of the Trident.
And so
Not part of the Trident, they were just in the same area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trident is
The water people.
is a
Yeah.
group of super criminals that were down there salvaging Teleax's stuff.
Yeah, they do water crimes.
Technically it's not a crime. It's been abandoned, it's been a certain amount of time, and then it's salvage rights. And they are allowed to...
They do water salvaging.
Yeah, thank you. Only call them criminals when they
I
deserve
didn't
to be
say
called criminals.
I didn't say what they were doing as a crime. I just said that they were criminals because they are criminals.
Yeah, they are criminals, but they were not doing crime at the time.
Well,
But then they decided to attack us.
Yeah, then they did crime. Then they did crime.
All right, so the team takes care of a few items before going out to celebrate the engagement. We don't know this because Keone will never ever share anything about her life. But she can't physically get drunk now. However, Riley gets sloppy because of something she won't talk about is bothering her. The next morning, Portal spars with Devin, one of the orphans, not orphans, runaways.
Or, as I call them, the sus kids.
Yes.
Kids.
Sus kids. I'm writing down as I think of what their powers might be.
So Portal is sparring with them. They have a little bit of a heart-to-heart. Things look good. Spider Queen and her aunt have a heart-to-heart. Crucible and Flamebird have a very, very awkward conversation. And Crucible convinces her to come to the tower. So yeah, that's when the completely not a date, and anybody who looks at it will say it's not a date, but for some reason Keone is insisting on a date, happens.
That's the second date. He went out on a date with her twice.
Oh, okay. So they
First was just coffee. The second one, she invited him to breakfast together. That's a date.
So they had nut dates twice because friends hang out on occasion.
Breakfast is just that lame thing you do after a good date.
That was not helpful to your cause. You should not say that.
dig upwards.
Put down the shovel.
Shovels are magnetic?
So Crucible convinces her to come to the tower right now. And that is apparently when my capacity to take notes ended.
So, the next thing I have is that we found out more about who Kione and the Flamebird are from. Kione is from Mab, and then Flamebird is from Tatiana. So they are Fae Queens. So that's a fun little thing about them.
We did have the Gravik and Caress fight right before that, and then we got into
Gravik was a jerk.
the Fae stuff. I just wanted to make sure you got that note out because it's important.
I made sure it was the last thing I wrote. Caress
Gravik being a jerk.
Caress Blackguard, Gravik jerk.
The entire season.
Nothing else was important to write down.
That's all we need to know. That is the key to the entire season.
Yep. Gravik is a jerk.
Oh, because he made the magic darkness that messed with Kione.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kione couldn't see shit.
And Star Knight couldn't figure out his shield.
Yeah.
That was my favorite part. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget that. Star Knight, bad at shields.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was the first of a series of fights where Portal was completely neutered. While the fighting was happening in darkness, there was nothing he could do.
He's like, I can't see shit. But then that's when we decided we were going to go back to our whiteboard of doom, which is right over here. Here's our whiteboard. And that is when we found out a little bit more from Spider Queen's aunt. And that's how we figured out about the Ratman, Pack Rat. Was kidnapping the teens for them. We were able to triangulate a pattern of where we thought we could get Pack Rat. We figured out that he was going into homeless encampments near sewers, entrances to sewers, that they were trying to do DNA genetic modifications that they started on animals and started using on humans to try and basically make them superheroes. They also wanted to figure out a way to create a program to counter magic with tech.
Yeah, that was under Project Anathema from the list of projects recovered from the
that's what that
Laptop
word
of
is.
Mystery.
I did not spell that word correctly. I just skipped over because I was like, I don't think I know what that word's supposed to
I think you need to spell out that word that you wrote down now.
Anatama.
That's pretty close.
So there's an H.
That ultimate A should be an E.
Yeah.
And
You're only off by 2 letters.
So it's in Anathema? E-N?
Anathema. Anathema.
E-M-A, okay. I forgot an H and an E, okay.
I do think it's interesting throughout this whole thing where they're like, we're trying to make superheroes and give people powers. But it succeeded, and they don't seem to realize it.
Yeah.
They're not trying to make superheroes.
Or not, yeah.
They're trying to make super
People
slaves.
powers, not superheroes, yes.
Kione noticed those teens. Kione finds them sus. And then,
Actually, I didn't even write down the teen. To be super honest, I thought the teens were just going to be like generic teens and then everyone was super suspicious of them. I didn't write down their names till like a couple sessions ago because I was like, they're fine.
I never told you guys this, but in the week between when they first showed up and the next session, Aaron told me, hey, you're taking an interest, and so like, do you want them to kind of be part of your story? And I said, yeah, absolutely, because of his own, status, history as a runaway, and I think that'd be really cool to explore. And I saw that he had named them, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna have powers. As soon as I saw his name,
yeah, so their names are
Devin.
no. Devin, who is the one that beat the punching bag senseless until his knuckles bled. Jet, Keisha, and Kimmy. Kimmy seems to be really good at computers, so I think she has some sort of tech thing. Jet and Keisha, we haven't really seen all that much. So Devin, I have either he's a skilled swordsmith because he seems to catch on to the swords well, or he has like stamina, like strength is his thing. Like he's like a Dr. Irons,
He's-
like
He's an
punching.
intuitive fighter. Just
I'm getting,
Yeah.
I'm getting Batman vibes from him.
well, since he's sus, I'd go with Taskmaster.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna
Deeply
write that down.
trusting of these kids.
Here's the thing. Keone thinks everyone is sus. I'm 99% sure
Yeah.
Keone thinks that she herself is sus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not really a big fan of the fact that she's now figured out that her powers come from magic. But Jet and Keisha, we haven't really seen a whole lot of them. I think one of the two of them can put down food like nobody's business, but I don't know if that has
But
anything to do with powers. I think they just are really hungry, so I don't think that counts.
Oh, maybe a
They're
speedster.
Teenagers who are starved for several months.
But then we figured out that what? This is why I shouldn't take notes, you guys. I don't know what this word is.
Sound
So
it out.
they were looking into the storm. They were looking into the Silver Storm because they wanted to see if they could recreate that. And I put vivisected.
Yeah, vivisected. So,
Oh, so it's a real word.
Yeah, that's a real word.
Oh, I put a big space in there. That's why I was like, I don't think this is what I was supposed to write down.
so the mystery laptop.
I swear to God, guys,
um,
I'm actually smart. I'm just like, I swear, I'm really smart.
No, you just sometimes
Don't
get
do
hit by
that,
the Keone meme. Yeah, the
I
mystery
did-
laptop of mystery. It had Project Ascent, which is
Yep.
from Morgenstern. That was the
That's the-
genetic manipulation
Yep.
one. Uplifting animals. I think Pack Rat was involved in that.
Yes. and
Project
there was a couple.
Anathema
Yeah.
was the anti-magic one.
Yep.
Project Storm was the dissecting stormers
Yep.
or vivisecting. And then Project Viridian was looking
Viridian
into the
stones.
Viridian stones
Yep.
around the Atlas Mountains.
Yep. So my peoples. And then I wrote some shit about the stones. I don't know if they're important, but I wrote them down. That it has
They're important.
gemstones. Gemstones. That there are veins of the gemstones. There's the Atlas emeralds. They're green. He was very descriptive of this. The only words I got from it that they were green. They were meteoric, and they are
Meteoric
stones.
tektite, similar to moldavite.
Yeah, see, those were words that I was like, I'm not gonna be able to spell these or figure out what they are later. So, and that the Viridian
Mining has been
stones,
restricted since early 1900s.
yeah, that the Viridian stones that are only here, and they have a rainbow color to them.
And we are not in possession of any of them.
Correct. I think if I remember, the Viridian stones were something where it was like they had siphoned them off so much that they became protected because people were just hoarding them.
Mhm.
And then we decided to use Bella as a
As bait.
bait. Thank you. I didn't write that word down because I felt like I would know that word, and apparently I don't. So she was kidnapped, but she was unintentionally knocked out. She meant to only pretend, but she was actually knocked out. Spider Queen.
She fell asleep.
Well, yeah, but I mean, she's knocked out. Not like knocked
Yeah.
out, like she didn't get punched in the back of the head, but she was like put to sleep sounds just as bad. Like you put an animal to sleep, like
She just fell asleep.
she just went to the night town.
Yeah.
And so then everyone stayed behind except for Spider Queen because she could be sneaky. And she followed along behind and followed down to where Pack Rat brought her and put her in a boat. And then Pack Rat disappeared. And then the boat continued on going towards the Atlas Mountains, where the chessmen knights came out of the elevator. Devin is hella sus during our fight. Because we all then showed up and we were.
By which she means he just was a teenager full of anger
Yeah.
at how he was treated and wanted to unleash it on the people who did that to him.
Yep.
You know, really sus.
I'd have done the same.
Really sus by being completely understanding.
Yes, and exactly what Keone would have done.
Not
Which
true.
is why
He didn't
he's
stab a single person.
That's true. That is true.
Well, not for lack of trying.
That
He
also
was trying. He punched him.
Yeah, he punched him. Remember, punching is like stabbing but blunt. Holding cell with the anticipation, I'm assuming, of using her for something, and then we decided to be big damn heroes, and Spider Queen came out swinging, literally and figuratively, and then we all kind of went through Portal's portal and came out, and then partial way through the fight, Devin also came screaming through and just punched the shit out of the scientists, knocking one of them unconscious. Inertia has been in constant communication with the chessmen. And he took a portal to the Cayman Islands. I couldn't tell if that was portal, like as in portal went to the Cayman Islands, or there was he portaled to the Cayman Islands.
He teleported.
Yeah.
He teleported to Cayman Islands.
And the important thing is he was supposed to be locked up.
Yes.
Like, my notes is inertia is here. Why?
Yes, he's supposed to be
I
locked
hate
up.
that guy so much.
We all hate that guy so much. But that's it. That brings us to now times.
So much.
Well, there was. Did you mention Riley? We found out what Riley was so upset about.
Yes, but we are not going to continue that conversation. So with that, we are going to go over some of our questions that we had talked about. Why don't we start with Star Knight's plans? Are they evil, or are they normal plans?
Oh, what I mentioned in the.
Mm-hmm.
He's got plans. He just needs some time. All of this is so condensed that he's just still trying to figure out where his place is and how to be a hero, and he's just got this suit of armor that mostly works. And mostly does. He's good at one thing with it, so.
Here's Star Knight. You qualify for Ethan Store Your House in the Sea financial records. So it's probably better if you don't have a place to stay.
Yeah. He's not really a penthouse kind of level guy. I mean, he mostly has, like, low budget horror films. I guess he's got that series of movies that are kind of Jack Reacher-ish. So, I mean, he doesn't flaunt any of his money. Especially now, because he's, like, not really doing the Hollywood thing in Hollywood.
Keep it an eye on me.
But, you typically see him with, like, a whiskey when you go out to the bar, and if you're observant, though,
It's good whiskey.
he usually gets top shelf, but he might get a second one, and kind of avoids being sloppy drunk.
Fair.
Yes. Now Keone can't get drunk, and she was the sloppy drunk of the group, so her whole personality's got to change.
She's still plenty sloppy, so it's okay.
You can be making her.
Yeah, she has to just emphasize the rest of her regular sloppiness. Okay, so with that, what about Archer Blackwell? Pod person, or just supervillain? Alex?
I mean, he's pretty much been a dick the entire campaign, so I'm gonna go with just bad person.
Yeah,
That's
his
true.
personality
He's a bad
changed.
person. But I don't know. I'm starting to think that my dad and Roger are the same person. That's a little sneaky. Like, Archer was removed from reality, and Roger was put in his place as part of, like, the pod person thing. Where, because he's a sleazy rich guy, he tried to get with my stepmom again. Yeah, I don't know. I think Roger's disappearance is. I think they have been disappeared to the same place, if they are the same person or not.
Yeah, because remember, we couldn't find Archer anymore. We couldn't. Hexa couldn't find him. It was just
Yeah.
he was off planet.
Well, yeah, there's Archer's he's at the Blackguard. Blackguard
Right now.
But she can only go on planet, and the Blackguard are not on this planet.
Well, they're looking for something on this
Yeah.
planet, so our assumption was that they potentially just moved him somewhere else, but we found that he did not get moved anywhere else.
Yeah, I don't think they would have taken him somewhere to space. I think they would have taken him somewhere on Earth
Yeah.
to use his knowledge for something local, because he doesn't know anything about space, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Accurate.
So, Alex, what do you mean by Roger replacing Archer?
So, like,
Because I don't think you mean like Roger is now or like because like Riley would know like, hey, you look just like Archer.
yeah, no. I mean, like, magically or scientifically, the consciousness has been transplanted, like Get Out style or something like that.
So not quite pod people, but close.
Yeah, pod people or bad cloning accident.
Transform.
Type of
something like that.
replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah. If not, I think the same people may have gotten Roger that might have Archer.
Or
That's
it,
probably true.
Yeah.
or it could be like a third party, maybe like the Grandmaster is
Ooh.
controlling or putting his mind into some of these people.
Mm.
And
Yeah, 'cause we
and
didn't
that would
find
be
him.
helpful if
I'll be right back.
if the chessmen are like, they gave away somebody, but they're
Ooh.
still controlling them, they could see into what the Blackguard is trying to do.
Yeah, because
And
remember.
so they're putting agents in different.
Yeah, because the chessmen
Areas.
had Archer and traded him, but it did.
You know,
When we watched it, we didn't feel like it was very fair of a trade. So maybe
right,
it was.
because I don't think we ever found out what the chessmen got in return.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We just gave him away
Okay.
because he's.
Someone on our whiteboard of doom add in Crucible's dad, possibly spy camera? Nanny cam?
I did update the text on it before, but I don't think it showed up on stream. I just put Crucible's dad in space in brackets.
In space.
Did you save it?
I did save it.
Maybe I need to refresh. Hold on, let me see.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think.
Or it just hates me. That could also very well be it.
The only bad thing is Star Knight's not smart enough to come up with that.
That makes sense to me. That Roger being actually truly Archer does make a certain amount of sense because
Yeah.
Roger he never gave any what we knew of him, which was admittedly very little. But there's no indication that he was a jerk before a few days ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
And what Alex said about Roger going after Riley.
There's
Yeah.
definitely personality shift there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether,
And
I mean, I get it, Riley's
hot.
hot or whatever, but
Yeah.
it does feel, I don't know, it feels suspicious to me.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like there's
You gotta put it underneath, Calvin, underneath.
he's acting very Archer-esque.
Okay, I guess Crucible's dad gets his own section then.
Yeah, so just
Crucible's
put
dad definitely gets his own section.
Crucible's
Alright,
dad,
fair enough.
and then put underneath like little like bullets in space
I gotcha.
question mark. Still an existing connection to the chessmen. I mean, but I'm not like trying to tell you how to live your life or anything.
No, it should be
If
consistent.
they no, that it wouldn't have been that. It had to have been relatively recent.
Yeah, well, you have to remember, like, from episode 1 till now is like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Archer
And-
disappeared. Archer was traded away like a couple months ago.
He was a couple
Yeah.
months ago, and this personality shift was a few days.
Yeah, so that's the
Definitely
problem
big gaps of
because
time.
the time gap there is a bit of an issue because it would make if they're gonna do the shift, or the brain transfer, it would have had to have happened before Archer left. And Roger hasn't been acting weird for that long.
Right.
I think that it's the Grandmaster manipulating people.
Yeah. I
I
think
wonder if he has been Archer the whole time. He's just been trying to act like Roger, and then he just failed because
It could be it.
he's an ass. And this was kind of the moment that revealed, because Archer just can't help himself.
Okay.
He's definitely the kind of guy that would feel like he has ownership over his ex-wife.
So
The
with
entire
that, then, what's going on with Riley's boss and the Sentinels? So we think Riley's boss is potentially an avatar, for lack of a better word, of the chessmen. Or the
Well, remember,
Grandmaster.
first of all, remember, it's not Riley's boss. It's one of Riley's clients.
Yeah, I got that confused. It seemed like Riley was talking about a boss, but it was a coworker, like
a high-end
client situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, client. Because it's Roger, right? That's the guy we're...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Roger is the guy who is funding
The
the
Sentinel.
Sentinels.
Correct.
But
Yeah,
Riley-
I thought it was her boss because Riley was like, "Do people just hire me because I'm hot?"
Yeah.
So I was like, "Boss."
Yeah.
I mean, a natural jump to that.
Right.
But when you're like that, when you're a client-based, hiring you would be saying, "I want you to represent me." So that's valid.
Now, has Roger done anything else unusual, or is there anything about the relationship between Roger and the Sentinels that causes us pause that I'm just not thinking of?
We don't really know anything about the Sentinels other than the fact that they took on the Flamebird.
Yeah.
Well, we had a
we
few
do know
conversations.
we do know they're not happy with what Roger did, and that
Yeah.
they're
Even though Rook left me on red.
Yes.
Little Raven wannabe.
Because, they've shown up a few times to help us out. Like, Princess was at that club.
Yeah. So we know that
And-
they're heroes.
Well, and we've talked to them passing,
Yeah.
but
But
I
we've
don't
also worked with one of them at least.
Yeah, Rook and I think someone, their knockoff
Ultramarine?
Portal and their kid robot.
No, I
And
was actually,
Ultramarine.
yeah. Well, I was thinking specifically of Mongrel. We've worked with like 4 years now. We
Yeah, we
Yeah.
also beat up Mongrel the first time
Yeah,
we
we
saw
tried
him.
to kill him the
Okay.
first time we saw him, so
I'm
and
trying
he
to kinda-
didn't hold a grudge.
he did not.
Yeah,
He
I'm thinking
understood.
Out loud.
this
The
season
Canadian
we've
But it's
kind
still
of-
better than half of our team.
this season we've had interactions with Princess,
Hmm.
with the Brook, the lady with the I think she's kind of underwater-ish.
Yeah, Ultramarine. I think that was. I think she showed up to help with Fire Guy or
Yeah.
Motorcycle Guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
right.
we've
Oh,
had-
that's right. Yeah.
We've had interactions with like 3 or 4 of them in the span of these couple weeks.
Yeah.
And
They're stand-up people. I mean,
yeah, and I don't
we
think
actually
if they're-
asked them. We reached out to them and said, "Hey, we're going to space. We're going to not Starhaven.
the Citadel.
Citadel. Thank you.
Yeah.
But not, keep a closer eye because there'll only be one team."
And we called them up to share some of the Collapsar news, like, hey, this is
Yeah.
a world
Yeah.
threat. You need to know about it because sharing is caring.
The news
What was
is
that?
playing
Wait,
up the
didn't I hear
rivalry.
you? Huh?
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Good
doesn't make
thing,
any sense to me.
Keone doesn't care.
So, but I think
Gordon Maximus wants us to know that he is Mongrel's silent grudge.
That tracks.
But in those couple weeks, I don't think we didn't have deep conversations with them, but they never
Yeah,
really
no, but there's been
have
enough.
been
They've been
anything
around.
unusual about Roger.
They've been around. They've been doing good things.
Yeah.
So they're stand-up people.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with the Sentinels is somebody needs to date Princess.
Princess is already in a relationship. That was like the first thing we learned about her.
Spider Queen, I need you to know that soccer has a goalie and it doesn't mean you can't score.
Spider Queen, stop acting like a chump.
There's more than one person in Emerald City.
Kione will easily ice out your competition.
Yeah, I don't know why we've latched on to the Spider Queen Princess thing.
Yeah, I don't know, but I love it. Is there
Because it makes Calvin uncomfortable.
I know why. Yeah. I was there when Centurion Overdrive were first shipped a whole network ago, before we were the Untold Story project.
Yeah. I guess this is karmic.
Calvin did that. Calvin did that to poor Kevin from the chat.
Oh, Calvin.
Karma's a bitch. Calvin,
You gotta
Karma's
be
a
there.
bitch. Karma is a Canadian goose, and it is coming
Oh, no.
for you.
Untitled Canadian Goose.
Oh,
It's just
God.
like wah, 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 behind you.
Yeah, that might get even a bit more interesting if we end up doing stuff at Emerald City University, because I'm pretty sure she goes there as well.
Well, and the big thing too is that they're all part of the Sentinels. Flamebird is now part of the Sentinels, and we are now moving right along to our next topic. Reyna, Flamebird, Ethan's worst nightmare or Keone's?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think all of it is my problem. I think this whole season is Crucible's
I'm going to
problem.
say Ethan's worst nightmare because Keone's worst nightmare. And, nightmare being perfect because, a nightmare, it's a fantasy.
I think the only nightmare problem for Keone is she can't kill her. I don't think there's a
Yeah.
moral question at all in Keone's heart of hearts.
No. Keone's like, I was told I gotta kill, I gotta kill. Kill, kill,
He just
kill.
wants to kill this nice person who
Yeah.
just wants to do good.
Well, I mean, to be fair, literally Reyna is sitting in the office with us, and we're going over all of these things, because she wasn't told any of these things. We're going over all of these things, and then Keone just throws a snowball straight at her face to prove a point. So yeah, Keone would, if she could, she would. Alright?
Yeah, we know.
My assumption, so here's my assumption, and Aaron, if you could please not listen to this next portion of what I'm going to say. My theory is that until they are both called up to fight, neither one of them's powers will work against each other. So
I
we
thought
can...
that's what I thought we were explicitly told that.
Mm-mm. Just that our powers don't work, not against each other. Like, I'm immune to fire, period. Not just her fire. I'm immune to fire, period. And then the assumption would be that she's immune to ice, period. My assumption is that the only moment our powers or anything will work against each other is when we have to fight. And that would be the moment that we know.
I could have sworn there was something. Yeah, because I guess I just must have instantly made that assumption then. Because, I was like, well, yeah, of course, their powers are going to work until it's time for them to work.
I also kind of thought, because the last time they fought, everyone fought as a group, that it was more the idea of whose group overpowered the other group, and that our powers may never work against each other. So it's more of a, like, who can you get to rally around you, and who deserves to be the one that continues the mantle of whatever it is. So... that was at first what I thought.
Do you really want this to be a fight about who deserves it?
Oh, no.
They're
No.
thanks.
No. But that's why I'm wondering, that was what I at first thought. And then, but that was before it was discovered that our powers didn't work against each other. Like, because she didn't notice when it happened when she went after her with Ethan. And so she didn't notice it until later when she got close to, I think it was with the chessmen when something was on fire and it didn't affect her in any way. So I think someone either shot her with something that had fire or something was on fire and it didn't bother her. So she's trying to figure out what that meant. And so she kind of just made the assumption that if Keone threw a snowball at her face.
By the way, I just want to point out, since we're talking about Keone's eagerness to kill someone who has not done her any kind of wrong in any way, shape, or form, that
She went around
there's
the boyfriend.
that whole idea that the Joker brings up and that's talked about often, where it's just one really bad day can turn anyone into a villain. I feel like with Keone, it's just one bad traffic jam, And then she's going to be the worst supervillain that the team's ever going to face?
I am waiting for Aaron to turn her into a villain for some reason. I was really glad that it was Ethan that got mind controlled and not Keone. Because with the powers that she has, she would easily kill a lot of people very quickly. And the character I base this off is one of my characters on DC Universe who is a villain. Because it was like every time I did something, I'm like, this is a very dangerous power. And so, yeah, so I was really glad that moment in season 1 when Ethan got mind controlled and it wasn't her. Because, yeah, that.
Right up until Alex showed how creative he is.
Yeah, that's true.
It's right.
I'm just waiting for my chance.
But yeah, I feel, see, and that's the thing too, is I feel like Ethan would be so enthralled enough that she could easily pull Ethan with her if she just suddenly turned evil without much difficulty.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide what would be the better story, and I feel like Ethan being her like golden retriever light at the end of the tunnel is probably more his energy.
Yeah, my thing is that it would
I'm going with you, but I'm going to try to bring you back to the light while I'm with you.
It's like Willow and...
I know who Ethan is. Who here has seen the more recent seasons of Dragon Prince? Has anyone seen those?
I don't even know what that
He is the Earth Elf that follows along.
Yeah.
Yep, that's exactly who he is.
In my head, it's Willow and... oh my god, what
Tara?
the fuck is his name?
Tara?
No.
Seth Green?
You're in the right show, though. Why can't I think of his name? Xander. It's Willow and Xander. Like, Willow is good and great until a really bad thing happens to her, and then she turns evil. But the only person that can save her is her best friend that, like, has to basically say, like, go ahead and destroy me. I'm coming with you. Like, we're all in. And kind of just proving... Like, that's the vibe that I feel like would happen, is that Keone will snap at some point. Something bad will happen, and Keone will snap. I just don't quite know what Aaron is going to make that thing be. And now that I've introduced both of her adopted parents, she now has her grandmother, her grandfather, and her mom now. Like, those are 5 people he has to work with that are outside of this immediate group, because obviously he's not going to make it to where, like, Ethan dies, or, like, you know, something like that, but, like, those 5 people are within the range of people he could easily take out. Now, I know which ones would be the ones that she would definitely go evil for immediately, and that would be her adopted parents, but having rediscovered her mom, who isn't as bad as her grandma, it may not take that much to push her over the edge. So that's, yeah. So I am, yeah. The fact that I didn't notice it for 4 years.
Violent, I'm right there with you.
You know what? That's rude.
She's way more evil than Willow.
That's rude.
It's true.
Evil Willow killed a bunch of people, or tried to at least. And then she tried to destroy the whole town.
Before your event turning you evil, you already want to kill someone who's done you no harm.
She's done a little harm.
She did wear those tight pants and that ponytail when I went to go fake break up with her. That was pretty evil. That was pretty rude to Keone.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, Warden Maximus has my back. Dark Willow skinned a guy alive.
We're not talking about Dark Willow though. We're talking about Willow.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She is Willow, like Willow did some sketch shit. Very sketch shit. And then Dark Willow just
like
made
Spike when he's
sketchy.
good.
We're not comparing Keone to Dark Willow. We're comparing Keone to Willow, because Keone isn't Dark Keone yet.
Ooh, Keone might be kind of like Spike.
When he's good, yeah, I mean, Spike with a soul, yeah.
Maybe. Although I didn't watch Angel, so I don't know what that Spike turned into. I just know what Buffy Spike turned into.
I mean, it's not the same.
Yeah, I wasn't. I don't know why I didn't. I also didn't watch Buffy until I was like in my late 20s. So.
All right, everyone, take a BuzzFeed quiz. What Buffy character are you? You have to answer the questions as your character.
Spike with the soul without the chip.
Okay. Even I feel like Keone might have it. Like it might be Spike with the chip. Like I think literally you guys just telling her not to do something is the only thing holding her back from doing the things she would like to do. Because
barely holding her back though.
One of the things that she did in where she grew up is she like beat the shit out of a bully. Like like to the point where he was like hospitalized because he was making fun of her friend. So like. No, you guys do. You didn't know that she almost beat him to death, but you know that when we went back, I forget what story we were telling, but it was something where she had like beat up a bully for one of her friends, and she did not reveal that she put him in intensive care and he had to learn how to walk again. Told you, she was originally evil.
I'm just here wondering, between Keone and Alara, which player character will become a villain first?
Alara's already a villain.
Alara, right now, immediately.
Well, Alara bounced back. She came back.
She bounced back. So she did
She
a
already
Willow,
crossed the
Dark Willow,
threshold.
better Willow.
She did step over that line. She did put on the uniform of her enemy and try to go take over the moon.
I mean,
As far as we know, she's still
All I'm
doing it.
hearing though is just Portal just needs to yeet Keone into the sun before it's too late.
Sun's not gonna bother her.
Yeah, but the hundreds of thousands of miles in between.
That's
there,
true. It would
the
take her a while to
vacuum
get
of
back.
space and
Yeah, so it would take her a bit of time to get back. Yeah. But, speaking of Keone not always being evil, wedding plans.
Man, I think Ethan and Keone are up to a lot this season.
All the things. I still can't believe you and I kept that a secret for 2 years. I'm so proud of
I'm proud
us.
of this. Me too.
I was like, I'm
did
so
you keep
proud.
it a secret though?
So proud. It was immediately after season 1, we were both like, yeah, it's going to happen. We didn't figure out what we were going to do until recently. But yeah, it was always a plan since the end of season 1. So
The whole conversation, like, so are we going to be like that couple who like breaks up in the middle of every season, or like in between each season of the show, or are we going to be like functional and happy and ride or die?
we're ride or die. I don't know if functional is the correct
Yeah, I
word
was
to
gonna
use.
say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Keone has already called her parents and talked to her parents about it. And they were very
You're
excited.
supposed to call your parents, and I haven't done that yet. That was my bad.
No, you told my dad and asked, but like
I think you said
didn't
he
tell
had
him when
one.
you did it. You just asked.
Yeah.
But yeah, and he's never. So my parents have only come a couple of times to Emerald City, and I have not let them meet Ethan or anybody else.
No, Alex, you did tell one of your moms.
It was
Yeah, I
true.
guess I did tell Riley. I just haven't called my real mom yet.
But yes, you have not called your mom.
Did you?
Yeah, Riley came to celebrate with us. That's when she got drunk.
Yeah.
Were you the one who told her in the first place?
No, I was not the one who told her. This keeps happening. Every time I have news, somebody goes and tells the other person before I get the chance to.
Portal has equal parts the adult in the room and, gee, I wonder what this button does.
Yeah,
Fucking
I like
Spider Queen.
I like how the best part was that you're literally saying it, and it felt like in real time you were like, oh shit, I don't think he's actually told her. Like it was like in real time you could see in your face, you were like, oh my god, he hasn't actually told her. I should stop talking as Spider Queen, which was phenomenal. I was like, oh my god, that's amazing.
There are only parts of Ethan that are like me, and not telling people news in a timely manner is definitely one of them.
Wait, that's right. No, I was wrong. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I forgot. Spider-Man was the one who blabbed.
She did
That's
indeed.
So just remember that every time you complain about me revealing your secret identity.
It's that fucking goose. It's behind you.
You see, that's the thing no one knows about Calvin. Calvin's just in the corner, just like stabbing people. Like, oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think all my characters have done something to betray or be suspicious to their teams on every show I've been on. Because Bowman was mind controlled, and Ruby was mind controlled, and Alara became a villain for half an episode, and Spider
Knocked out Resident. You know what I've never done as a Resident GM? Knocked out Resident.
You know, no. I'm gonna push back just a little bit. Mind control doesn't count.
If we're not counting mind control,
Doesn't
then
mind
yeah.
control. Bowman doesn't need the mind control to be active super spots. He is the worst father in the history of everything.
That's probably true.
But Arcelia can do no wrong. Damn it.
You know what? Fair.
When was she mind controlled? I don't remember that.
There was a very brief. It was like one fight
Yeah.
because Emerald lost her shit when it happened.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
She disappeared for a bit. It was like maybe a couple episodes.
Yeah. I don't even know if it was even a full episode though. Like, it ended. It ended with you being controlled and you disappearing.
Oh, those notes were from my from the MODOK game. Oh.
That's a good game.
Oh my god, I was like, what is this alphabet across the top? It was me trying to find all of the... Oh, but apparently I didn't have any Gemstar notes. Wait, these are Gemstar notes?
Yeah, we super tangented from the wedding plan stuff.
We did. But right now, Kione has called her mom, talked to her parents, and her mom has kind of started going through her adoptive mom, not her birth mom, and has gone through plans with her and what she wants to do. And really, it's turned into her mom is planning the wedding that she never got. And Kione is just fine with that. Because Kione doesn't really care.
I've got this theory. So first of all, they're actually absolutely going to be that couple and do a destination wedding. But then they're going to think that it's all right because without asking him, they're just going to assume that Portal is going to transport everybody to the destination wedding.
I feel like she'd want to do a destination wedding because she may ask you to portal her parents there on multiple occasions. Like bring her mom like for an afternoon because she needs help with something. That I feel like she would do. I feel like she'd want to get married in Emerald City.
Yeah, I think so too.
On the corpses. I mean, on
her enemies.
Just a fire pit.
That's the opening song for the wedding is the fight between Kione and Rhea.
See, that's... Oh, shit. Okay.
It's going to be, Kione, why are you fighting me? What's going on?
Yeah, so, again, Aaron, stop listening. Do not listen to this. I don't want this to happen at all. Please stop listening. Okay, so I think what's going to happen is Aaron is going to decide when Ethan and Kione are going to do the wedding, and it's either going to happen as the last thing of the season, or it is going to be the thing that sets off the fight. Like, it's going to be happening, like, they are ready to walk down the aisle, and Kione has to rip her skirt and, like, start fighting the Firebird, like, or the Flamebird.
She doesn't have to.
At the moment.
Like Kione's going to have no choice.
Well, I mean, I feel like the way he described it was that we are going to be compelled to do it. Like, it isn't going to be necessarily something that we can stop ourselves from necessarily. We're going to hear the call. And it's
so,
like,
Aaron, I'm just going to say, I think having the fight between the two at the wedding will be perfect. In the middle of the wedding, before one of them gets to say, I do. Maybe in between the I do's, maybe Alex goes first. Because, of course, Alex is going to go first. He's committed. But before Kione really has a chance to say, I do, that's when the fight's going to happen. And I think you can title the episode Ballroom Blitz.
I'm definitely going to write Ethan's vows. That's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy doing that before the stream.
I wrote my own for my wedding, and it was so good.
Speaking of vows and superheroes, I have a friend, Aaron and I have a mutual friend whose wedding vows began in Brightest Day, in Blackest Night.
Amazing.
Mine compared all the couples from our
the
favorite
Green Lantern
shows.
vow.
Yeah, mine went to, I was the Gwen Stacy to his Spider-Man. I was the Leia to his Han. Like, that was the... And then I said, well, actually, really, I'm the other way around. And so, because I'm more of the masculine portion of our relationship than he is, so it's fine.
I was just going off of the fact that you are absolutely, if I were to choose between the two of you, you are the one who would respond to "I love you" with "I know."
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yes.
Masculine or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Real life and Keone life. Exactly.
Ethan says, "I love you." Keone says, "Ew."
No. Keone says,
Ew.
"No."
Ew. Ew.
Give me the ick.
Yuck. But yeah, so we'll have to start picking out colors. Maybe we should get Gatorman to make our cake.
We should. 2-time USB Bake Off champion.
Yeah, Gatorman. The best part, my favorite thing about was doing this multiple times and having people play Keone is every single person that knew who Keone was and played Keone made the Battenberg cake when I did it the exact same way. They all did it as one color red and one color blue, so that it was Keone and Crucible together. It was every time, and I was like, I love it.
So nice.
It's so cute. But yeah, and I feel like Keone she wants something big, but she doesn't want something big. Like, I feel like she would be the kind of person that would get married at the courthouse, and then 3 days later would be the wedding. So they're already married, but, like, they're having the wedding because she wants the big wedding, but she also wants it to happen right now. Like, she'll just be like, today, let's go to the courthouse and get married. And then, like, later, after she's planned the wedding, like, it's good. Like, that's what she
Just
wants.
have a big party.
Yeah. I feel like that's more her vibe. Like, she just wants to party. Which is kind of how I did my own wedding. Like, I think our ceremony was like 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes maybe. And then our party went for like 4 hours. So, like, yeah, we did not have a very long ceremony. So, although I did say I did at the wrong time. So that was fun.
That would be great if we, instead of holding on to the proposal for 2 years, we're like, oh yeah, we got married at the end of season 1 at the time. We were married for like 5 years.
Oh, that would have been so good. Because I do feel like that would be something, like, Ethan wouldn't be able to hold it together. Like, he would want to tell everybody once they got married. But, like, Keone would just be, like, in the middle of something, she'd just, like, look up and be like, yeah, let's get married. And just, like, force him to the courthouse and they get married. Like, I feel like that would be something she would do.
I think I just realized something. My theory. Keone thinks everyone is sus because the person she loves is sus as hell. Because whenever he's hiding something, it is so glaringly obvious. And he's always
the opposite of sus. If I'm always sus, am I never sus?
No.
That's like if it's always a
You
priority,
are
it's never
predictable, but you are still sus.
You're on mute, Gary.
Like, you're in the crystal chamber and all the sus is leaking out to everybody else, and that makes them sus.
Yes, valid.
She can't trust the person that she loves the most, so she can't trust anyone. It's your
It's
fault.
not hiding anything, really.
It's your fault, Ethan.
What's Ethan? Oh, I don't even know what I'm hiding right now. What am I hiding right now?
What are you biting right now?
I don't think I'm hiding anything right now.
And neither is Keone, by the way. She has told you guys everything about what her mom told her. So.
It only took, like...
Oh, yeah. Keone isn't hiding anything about that one thing.
Yeah,
let's go back and roll back to the tape to where you put a kid in the hospital and you haven't told your friends about that.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, she was like 13. Like, she didn't really understand her powers fully, and nobody around her had powers, so it was kind of one of those things where it's like Superman trying to learn where to limit his strength, and she didn't really understand. So, you know, it's a lot of hormones running through a 13-year-old girl. A lot of punchy hormones running through a 13-year-old girl.
A lot of stabbing.
Yeah, only saying from very personal experience. So there's a lot of punchy running through a 13-year-old girl. So.
Yeah. I told y'all about that, right? The time I ran a Guardians of the Galaxy game for teenagers, and the girl played Groot, and she was like, "Oh, good, Drax has him in a headlock, so I'm going to take his gun out of his holster and shoot him in the head, and then I'm going to grow my branches through his nose until his skull explodes around it." And I was like, "You're Groot, calm down."
Oh my god, that's amazing! I love her so much. Oh, I love her so much.
Like, Rocket, talk to Groot, there's something wrong.
Groot's going through some shit. Let Groot go through some shit. But yeah, no, yeah, 13-year-old girls. That's a lot.
13-year-old girls game. Typically,
Yeah.
it's that whole, I plan to fight, and they've decided to find a way to talk it out. 13-year-old and puppy game.
No.
I steal the gun, shoot him in the head, and shove my fingers up his nose to break his skull.
Yep. Pretty much. I mean, she did.
Yeah.
To be fair, she did give him a warning, and then she, this tiny 13-year-old girl comes up to him and is like, "Hey, stop fucking with my friend." And he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do about it?" And then he pushed me. So, it's a
So
valid.
everybody knows,
Dude, how fast go?
a gentle mocking and a shove.
Yeah. Yeah.
Warrants lethal force.
Yes. The rage just filled her, and she just went punchy.
Then again,
Blacked out and he died. I don't know.
Then again,
She's
you
just
want to use
alright.
lethal force against Reyna, who has done you no wrong.
Yeah. Well, according to my mom, she is going to do lots of wrong. And according to my grandma, she's going to do lots of wrong. So I'd like to preempt the wronging.
Because that is
Fiance,
always,
she's okay.
that is always the right path. Preemptive strike.
We're just gonna minority report this. I know she's gonna do something bad, so let me just nip it in the bud right at the beginning.
You get that minority report, like the whole point was that was a bad idea, right? That was not the thing you should do, right?
Taking away the wrong lesson from that movie. Let's discuss Fight Club.
And Puppy watches a dystopian show and says, "Hey, I've got a good idea."
That sounds like a great idea, guys. Oh, yeah. Yikes. There's a lot of things that I'm learning about myself right now.
Yeah.
Who needs therapy?
It's fine. It's fine. So there's just a lot of bottled up anger. It's fine. I'll be fine. I'll be
Narrator, she was not fine.
fine. She was not fine. She then went and punched a pillow.
If you're watching this to this point, I would like to request that we could have a fight with a bunch of robots that don't have people on the inside that will die if we blow up the robots.
Yes, can we fight some Nazis, please?
Yeah, I want to fight something that somebody will just let me kill. Mainly because I really want to use that blood freezing power to its full advantage. I really have not gotten to use it to its full advantage. Because the
It's
people
probably
that
cool if we kill Blackguards, right?
Huh?
It's probably cool if we kill Blackguards, right?
No.
Superman's okay with killing the Sinestro Corps, I think.
No, he's not.
Is it okay to kill the Sinestro Corps?
Where are you gonna look at?
Cola.
We'll find out.
Well, I want to know what the AI says. What does Google AI say?
And A was not available for this search, you nerd, is what Gemini has to say to me.
I do like when I was trying to figure out a way to do something in my book, and so I was trying to ask Gemini like to make sure like what I was saying was functionally possible. And so I was typing it out, and she was like, "That is not a feature that we can do." And I was like, "Oh shit. Apparently this is way darker than I thought it was." And I had to like rewrite the whole scene because I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't think it was that bad." But yeah, apparently AI told me that I could not do that. I was like, "Oh."
I just want to point out that AI, the impending dystopian future, looked at Aunt Puppy and said,
Maybe not. Maybe not. Hey, I'm really nice to my AIs so that when they do take over, that I am hopefully spared.
You specifically.
Yeah, I
Fuck
always say,
everybody else.
I don't care. I always say please and thank you. I always ask the questions very nicely. Whenever I ask her to turn on my lights, I always say, "Will you please?" as if she has a choice. So I always want to make them she's Australian, so I try and make her feel very comfortable. My little
In a few
AI
weeks,
house.
in a few weeks, we're gonna find out Aunt Puppy is one of those crazy Silicon Valley people who like thinks that AI in the future is going to punish us all for
Oh.
not helping it come into being. Have you read about them?
Yeah,
They're
100%.
really-
The AI, when it takes over, it is, because it has already taken over other stuff. Like, it was able to mimic the state representative, oh, Jesus Christ, the Secretary of State of the U.S. and get a hold of top leaders in other countries through pure force of will, imitating his voice to try and get them to agree to things. Just to see if it could work. So, yes, I do think AI is going to take over, and I think we have to be nice to it so that it will at least spare some of us.
Well, I don't know about all that, but I did find out that the Guardians of the Universe turned off the rings restriction from killing specifically to kill the Sinestro Corps during the Sinestro War. So I think we're cool to kill Black
That
Arts.
is not Superman.
It's not Superman. It's a Green Lantern stance on killing, but I couldn't find anything about Superman in this event. For some reason, in the Sinestro Corps War, they made Superman fight Cyborg Superman and Superboy Prime, which I don't think either of them should have been involved in the Sinestro Corps event, but whatever. It's fine. Comic books, good for you.
Superboy Prime just shouldn't be involved, period. We've
Yeah.
done enough harm to
Yes.
that poor kid.
I guess I'll have to ask the Citadel if it's okay.
Hmm.
There you go. That feels like
Yeah, we can get an
yeah.
answer to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just saying, they're covered in metal, and I feel like I could stop them all.
Yeah.
No, the Blackguard aren't all metal.
Aren't
Aren't they covered in armor like the Star Knights?
I guess their suits are a bit more slick, but I thought they were.
It is at this moment that I realize that I have brought my Cartoon Network Teen Titans character to a comic book Outsiders story. Why are you all so eager to kill?
I don't want to kill, but I just want to use my powers in cool and exciting ways.
Yeah.
I mean, Spider Queen isn't willing to kill.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you guys what I really want to use my powers for, but it's fine.
Most circumstances, Star Knight isn't going to kill, but I think there are times where it's applicable.
Yeah, I really want Keone to freeze the inside of a person or thing, whatever, anything that has a liquid within it that she can freeze, and she basically wants to turn it into a porcupine.
Okay, Sub-Zero.
Yeah, I was about to say
With your fatalities.
Fatalities.
Yes.
Fate.
That's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
So I just need something to be put in front of me that I can do that too. And I swear to God,
That's
I
the
will roll.
question.
I will roll better than the stupid snowball scene.
That should be our social media question next week. Design a fatality for your favorite USB.
I just want my Peter Parker analog to be a good boy and have fun.
Same. Not that I would know anything about having a Peter Parker handle.
Look, Ethan was like that, and then he married the knife lady.
You haven't married her yet.
There's still time. No,
So the Blackguards, they have these big metal bracelets, so I feel like I could take them.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm at least taking some hands.
Oh, yes. Oh, that would be dope. Just rip them off. Like, you just can crush it and then just snap it off.
Just pull their arms out of the sockets.
Yeah, you could quarter them.
Those.
Okay,
You don't need those.
I was into weird shit in college. So, sorry.
Surely that Minotaur guy's got horseshoes, right?
Ooh, I bet he does.
Do they put horseshoes on
Well-
cows? Am I...
He might, if he's just wearing shoes.
I don't think so.
No, they do not.
Do they put horseshoes on cows?
I don't think so. Because they don't
do
really.
not.
Yeah, they don't need. Their hooves are different.
Yeah.
No, they very carefully take care of them because unfortunately the concrete fucks them up pretty bad.
Yeah, they really shouldn't. Horses really shouldn't be walking around. That's why I don't like those carriages in downtown areas. Those poor horses. Their little feetsies are so sore.
Camels don't, but oxen do.
Yeah, Aunt Poppy cares a lot more for animals than she does people. It's fine though.
That tracks.
Not wrong.
That tracks.
That's why Keone loves the bunny.
Look, they just cheat on anybody. Keone and Drew Host.
Yeah, you just see Keone and Duhas just sitting in the kitchen, just stroking each other.
It's
Hiding your cleavage all the time. Duhast Meech.
She just comes in, she's like brushing fur off of her, like, no, I wasn't. No, I was just in the kitchen. I was just in the kitchen.
Not his character on you.
Oh, I love Duhas. Oh, he's so cute. I love bunnies.
I love that he's so cute and lovely, and Hexa hates him so much.
I feel like it's Alexandrite's cat all over again. Just like a total dick, but everybody loved him. Jerk. Stupid cat. Worst part is I gave that cat to myself. I keep doing these things to myself.
See, I was smart. I said, yes, I wanted my hedgehog to be curmudgeonly, but I also wanted him to secretly have a heart of gold.
Yeah.
So
No, I
even
was like,
when he's angry, he's still cute.
yeah. I was like, here you go, Wiki. Here is a black cat. It's a dick. Do with it what you will. That's what I gave her.
Later, he went, I hate this cat. It's such a dick.
I know. And then it turned evil. And then not evil. And then
it turned out to be Alara.
yeah. Dick. Such a dick. Yeah. I really need to stop leaving a lot of open-ended. I need to just next time we do a show, I need to just make a character with zero backstory. Nothing. Nobody gets anything from her. It's just straight her. No backstory. She has no siblings, no family, no nothing. There's nothing that holds her together.
You want the GM to have free reign completely over your backstory. That's what you're saying.
There is
How
none.
it worked out for Kevin's character in Starhaven.
Starhaven, I was like, not today. You sexy gray man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, that's not
You said that, so I had to laugh as I was blowing my nose.
He's
That
a
hurt.
sexy gray man. I just imagine it's
You
like
thought anonymity would save you. Mm-mm. I'll just make up the guy you used to be who got turned into a horrible monstrosity. And his family members are coming out of the woodwork to find him.
Okay, it's rude, guys. You're not helping me because I gave one really elaborate backstory, and that screwed me. And then I gave a vague and not vague-ish backstory, and that screwed me.
You just need to accept the fact that as a PC, you're screwed.
Yeah. Miss Violent Violet suggests using a messed up backstory, but Calvin and Kat tried that with me in Starhaven too.
Yeah. So what I like to do is I like to set up the nails so I know where their hammer is coming from.
Ooh, that's true. That is true.
The other approach you could be is just, create your own trauma with your own bad decisions in-game, because my backstory hasn't come up at all yet.
I mean, that's what I'm doing right now. Creating my own problems.
Yeah, that is what Bowman did.
Just make bad decisions. And then the GM's too busy dealing with those bad decisions to ever think about throwing your backstory at you.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate Calvin always giving me something to do, at least, if nothing else.
I love that you phrase it as something to do.
Like he had a direction and you gave him something and he was like, ooh, that's good. And he writes it down. Okay, so that'll be a good ending question.
I'm seeing a whiteboard of Dune, but it's the GM version, and Alex is sitting at it. And he's got the names for all of the players, and the title of the board is Ways to Screw Over. And then he reads Calvin's backstory and just goes, "Thank you, Calvin."
That is not an inaccurate depiction of my process.
Well, seeing as I've seen his notes and playing in his games in real life, that feels exactly how his notes would be. It's just a blank sheet of paper with, "Ooh, Calvin's good," and then just Calvin's notes in there.
I mean, that's the best part. You set up the dominoes, and then you sit back and you wait to see how they all fall down. Because I don't know where certain things are going to be going with this character or basically any other character that I have played. But I'm like, here are some of their problems. Except for Bowman, who, because I was starting to play a canon character, I was like, well, I guess I'm just making problems as I go.
Just making problems as I go.
Oh, Violent.
But that Bowman is so your Bowman at this point. He has evolved way beyond canon Bowman.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Violent, he doesn't even need to try. Portal's backstory is pure trauma fuel. It just hasn't come up ever in any way because he's making too many dumb decisions.
Oh.
All right, so we are about to hit hour 2, the end of hour 2. So let's ramp it up with a question. Where would you like to see your character end season 2? And we will start with Calvin since he went last.
Oh. Did I go
So
last?
obviously plug anything you want to plug, all the normal blobby blobs. But
I'd like to
that's the
end
question.
season 2. I don't know. Because when I was first crafting the character and she first came to the game, I think there was part of me that thought that, and it would depend on how things go, but I think there was part of me that thought that it could end with her just going back to Pharaohburg, and then that being more her permanent residence than just permanently living in Emerald City. Like she's in Emerald City for the course of this season, and then afterwards she goes back home, a changed person. She does her hero's journey.
So we're just like a fling to you then. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Heartbroken.
This is the end goal. Like
maybe.
Spider Queen's just using us to get to other royalty in our city.
Look, I mean,
I mean, with a teammate like Portal, you can live anywhere you want.
That is true.
Oh.
And Spider Queen's gonna have to because she's never actually gonna move into the tower.
I was just about to say, the end of the season, she should still not have moved her stuff into the tower. She's still paying rent at some other place.
What happens first? Clothes get moved or texts at 0? That's gonna
You send that last one in like 100
The heat death of the universe. That's what happens first.
Yeah.
End of the season though, yeah, I can see her moving back home. I think there's part of me that wants her to go through some sort of I think she has to make some other massive mistake or something just to reinforce. Well, I mean, she doesn't need it. As a character, she doesn't need it. As the person who plays the character, I think she needs it.
Like a junkie.
I don't know, just something to reinforce her mindset of if something bad happens and you aren't the one to personally fix it, then it's on you. I don't know. I don't think she's earned the right to have figured that out yet, even though she helped save her aunt and sort of fix the things she was feeling guilty about. I don't know. I think she needs just another year or two of the guilt blender before she comes out of that.
Valid.
If you had just figured out how to use your powers sooner, you could have saved your aunt.
Exactly. But then she saved her aunt.
Finally.
For now.
After she figured out how to use her powers.
Yeah, like 5 years later.
So Archer Blackwell.
What if her aunt is now our nanny camera?
I have thought that it is possible. Well, Calvin's thought it's possible that Shannon Kate is secretly a villain.
That she is
I think
the
Portal bought that at
chessman.
some point too.
Yeah, she is the chessman's nanny cam for our team. And then, what's his name?
Roger.
Roger is for the Sentinels, and then
Archer
is for the Blackguard. So they're just kind of like putting out their pawns to see.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's where I was going
Ooh.
earlier.
See, I told you sometimes I am smart, just words don't write down correctly.
That could be it. That could be it. But yeah, no, end of the season she'll go back home. She'll say bye to all her new friends and just go back and hang with her old ones.
Gonna break apart the new breaker.
Yeah.
Oh, the new
The
breakers.
next group.
To
I do
go hang out with the Ferroburg 4, and you're not even one of the 4. How dare you?
I do like the fact though that like the only Stormbreaker is Ethan. None of the rest of us are Stormbreakers. We all already had our powers.
Oh, yeah.
Ethan's the only one
Stormer.
left. So Stormer and Stormbreakers really is a bad name for us now.
Once a Stormbreaker, always a Stormbreaker. If she does go back home, she's not going to, she's going to go back a completely changed person.
True.
And I can see that being where she ends this season. Or something else.
Said the black hole moves into our neighborhood.
Or that. And I don't remember the order that things happened in before if we're going in reverse order.
We went in a circle, so Jenny is next.
I forgot the question because we were being silly too much.
Where would you like to see your character at the end of season 2? Or where do you think your character will be at the end of season 2?
I hope by the end of season 2, Portal will be able to have the talk about who he really is that I've been teasing for like a month now. I think that's really it. The only thing that, yeah, I mean, Portal's just following along the plot. So there isn't a whole lot. He kind of, at the beginning of the season, he had his big emotional development with having that talk with Tommy. That was a big moment. And so, yeah, that's about it.
Okay.
So
Then that
nothing
is
earth-shattering there. No secrets, no mysteries, no.
okay. Then now it is Gary's turn.
I have like 3 story beats that I really want to hit, and I do not want to spoil them. I think they'll be fun, and I think it'll be fun to bring the team along for the ride on one of those. But I will say, again, it's him trying to figure out how to be a hero and where he wants to be.
Hey.
I got some points.
You're the Stormbreakers now. You're not just a hero. You're a big damn hero.
Yeah.
Big damn hero.
I still have some points to spend.
Bill!
And
God.
I recently started working on a character sheet to spend those points.
Make sure your shield works.
Yes. I will say one of the things that I will probably spend some points on is some leadership skills.
We need a Daddy Star Knight.
So yeah, that's I think
Okay.
I think that's the direction he's probably headed in. Who knows? Things could change, but yeah, 2 or 3 things that should be fun.
I like it.
Ampa?
I guess that's me now. I have 2 things I would think would be fun. One of them would be that at the end of season 2, we all wake up where we were in season 1, at the start of season 1. Like it was all a dream. Like we all got reverted back in time, but we have all of the memories of what happened in season 1 and 2. So we all know what's coming. We know what's going to happen. We know where we're going. But we have to decide, are we going to follow the same plot line, and does that change what we do? Or do we just follow along like we are in, in follow mode in a game, and we just kind of like try and consciously remember what we did in those moments and try and come back to the point where we were and see are we stuck in a loop, or is it that something happened and now we've been reverted? Like Ethan wakes up right before the bus crash happens. Like right before he gets hit by the bus. Like Keone, like right before the thing, like all of the things, like right before the moments that those things happened, and we all come up from wherever we were in those moments. And
That would freak Cam out.
That would mess
right?
with Portal, especially considering his secret.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. I just thinking in my head,
I
I
might
hate
throw
time
into an
travel.
existential crisis.
Yeah, I hate time travel for that reason, because it's like if you step on a butterfly, when you go in the past, do you fuck up the future, or do you just create another chain? And then does that other future, now you have disappeared, and now that... Like, I hate time travel for that reason. But I think it would be fun, and it would be weird. And it would be one of those things where it's like, do you keep going in the direction... Do you think everybody else knows what they know? Do you keep going in follow mode, or do you try and figure out how do you get back to where you should be in time? So,
Or if you have something like a relationship you really enjoy, how do
Yeah.
you manage to make sure that it still happens without
right,
accidentally fucking
without
up?
without knowing in the future, like, does Keone still do the things that she does, knowing that they're going to get together, or does she go, well, we're just going to get together and skip doing those things, like that kind of stuff? Like, I just think that would be really interesting and weird, and it
I'm
could just
thinking
be
more specifically of Peter and Tommy, where
yeah,
Peter's like, how do I make sure this relationship happens without accidentally fucking it up?
yeah.
Because
Like, I
I'm
just-
trying to make it happen now.
Yeah, I just think that would be
Right, too hard.
interesting. Even if it's just like an episode that we go back, that would be fun too. But I think that would be interesting to end the season, and that would be more of a like an everybody thing, not necessarily Keone. But the other thing I would like Keone to do is I would like at the end of the episode for it to be very much like Grease, where Ethan and Keone ride off in a flying car in after the wedding, and that's just kind of like credits roll, they fade off into the distance. And then
Like Ethan's hovering the car.
yeah,
Are we all
yeah.
seeing everyone on the way out?
Yeah, just like turning around and waving, because she's like, oh, he lifted the car, and they're like waving as like, yeah.
Second best flying car into the
Yeah,
sky
yeah.
in a movie ever.
I think that would be, I just think that would be a cute way to end their story, and then it just kind of like fades off into the distance. So that's what I would like to do. Please, Aaron, pick that one, not the other one I said. So that leaves Alex.
Yeah, it's the opposite of that. Mine is we have a beautiful, wonderful wedding, and then Ethan gets abducted by the preservers to go talk about the collapse art thing because he ate too many nanites.
Oh
And they
no,
just
no,
decided
Aaron's
that-
in the chat. No, stop talking, Aaron's in the chat.
So, oops, Crucible ate too many nanites, and now the preservers think he's one of them, and now he's got to go get sucked into space to go.
Crucible's now Telex Jr.
I hope we resolve Collapse R before or at the end of the season.
Oh, I got bad news. That whole collapse art thing is a whole Earth Prime continuity problem. That we need the Guardians of Haven and the Freedom of Dark and Stormbreakers and the Gemstars and everybody coming together to get all the stones. It's kind of our Infinity War coming up. We're really excited about it. To give a small peek behind the curtain, that Collapse R is not just an us problem, but
I guess the good thing is I only have to play one character. Talk to
yeah,
themselves.
sorry, Calvin.
Calvin's gotta play like 12.
Gotta rev up those fryers.
You're gonna need a different pair of glasses
Yeah.
for each character, so you can just.
He's got a mask for one. He's just like everything.
Just
Wear the
keep switching
hat.
backgrounds.
No, what it is it's just all of the backgrounds, and then when you're talking, that person just move to that square, and then you just move around as you talk as those people.
Okay.
I think you should have a wig for Alara and a little bow and arrow for Bowman and a big fist Like a big Hulk fist you paint it red for Ruby. I think that's how you
I can be kind and suggest you just change the background whenever you change character.
Yeah.
Well, what if he's playing them talking to each other? He's got to be able to go back and forth.
He just switches them quickly.
Yeah, it's really funny when I do that to Calvin. Calvin loves it.
I just want to be nice to Calvin for once.
It will be fun to. I'm sure at some point they will all be stuck in a room together. Somehow, Bowman and Speed Demon and Spider Queen and
Get out of here!
Alara
Get out of
and
here! Aaron.
Ruby are all gonna be.
He's evaded.
He's coming right at the end. We've all talked about our trauma throughout this episode. He's coming in at the very end. No notes. We have no notes for you. No notes.
You're on mute.
You think I can't just watch the replay?
Okay.
No.
You forgot to hit record.
Yeah, I totally forgot to hit that button that streamed it also on YouTube. And, like, for some reason, it got deleted off of Twitch.
And you shouldn't even go to YouTube and check. It's just don't
I'm just gonna-
Don't worry
It's
about
not videos private.
What's
Just go
YouTube?
unlist them.
No, we're ending this talk with what we saw our characters, where we want to see our characters at the end of season 2, or where we think our characters are going to go at the end of season 2. So.
Okay, so important question.
Oh God.
Which are you saying? Where you expect them to end up, or where you want them to end up? Because I don't think that's necessarily the same for most of you.
I did one of each.
Okay.
But I don't want you to pick one of them. And I say it, which one I don't want you to pick. But it would be fine.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, Portal would also, he's exploring his powers more and developing more the dimensional side of it.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, he's already been doing that.
Can't wait for Portal to go talk to the Freedom Dark about all the multiversal travel they just had to do.
So
What really matters is Frank West is coming back to Earth Prime. I will find a way to get him here. However I want.
He tried so hard to keep him out.
Oh my god, I tried so hard to get you guys to bring him back with you. You guys are like, your universe needs heroes too. And I was like, you fuckers.
We also have decided that we need to ask the question is what would be each one of our characters. Maybe we should answer that question. That could be so that Aaron can hear what we want our finishing moves to be. So what are our Mortal Kombat finishing moves for each of our characters?
Fatalities?
Yeah, Kione already picked hers. Kione wants to freeze the inside of somebody and then release it like a porcupine. That's what she wants to do.
The frozen hedgehog.
Yeah, she does not care who. She just wants to do that. So, Star Knight, what would you want Star Knight's finishing move to be?
Oh, pretty easy. The Star Knight emblem, just chopping them up like that.
They
Slicing
happen
them.
so fast and so pure that for a moment they're standing there, and
Yeah,
then they
and
fall
they
apart into the pieces of it.
Oh,
Yep.
that would be incredible. Okay, Portal, what would you like your finishing move to be?
So Portal's gonna have a couple variants. I've already hinted at it. Like, you like the final button that you hit to get the fatality. You can change different ones. But basically, a portal opens up beneath the person. They fall through it, and they're either in outer space and slowly like freeze and like the blood in their eyes and that whole thing, really graphic outer space death. Or it opens up and they're entering low orbit of the sun and falling into the sun as they burn apart to crisp in the nuclear furnace of our star.
Okay, I like it. Spider Queen?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like the average Spider-Man PS4 move is technically fatal to a normal human being, but just pretend it isn't. If I had to pick something for Spider Queen, I don't know. She would probably, she would web somebody up completely, and then this is the moment when she would summon the spiders.
Oh.
And then
That's
the webs
brutal.
fall away, and it's just a skeleton left.
Oh, God.
She disperses into the hundreds of spiders that she actually is.
Oh, God. I hate it so much.
That is a cool and terrifying visual
Yes!
I'm probably actually going to use at some point.
Yes, I like it. I like
As
it.
an illusion, of course, as an illusion.
I like it. Okay, Ethan, what is your fatality?
It's called the Singularity. I pull my welding mask off, send it to the other person, and crush their head in it.
You've already done that, or tried to do that.
It didn't work last time.
I've got another one. It's the Indiana Jones Part 2. Unfortunately, he can't actually create portals inside someone's chest, but I think for the purposes of the fatality, he'd be allowed to. He'd reach into the portal to grab their heart and pull it out.
Aaron's vetoing that one.
No.
That one's a veto.
But the Stormbreakers don't kill people. So.
Yeah, sure. Most of the Stormbreakers don't kill people.
Say most of the
The
Stormbreakers.
Stormbreakers asterisk don't
You
kill
don't kill people mostly.
Yeah, Keone only accidentally killed somebody, but she was intending to kill them to begin with.
You're not the first one to accidentally kill someone, though.
That's true, but I was intending to kill them and then accidentally killed them because they exploded.
Poor Dr. Irons.
Yeah. Whew. She was brutal. All right, but I think that's it. We answered all the questions. We talked about the Whiteboard of Doom,
All our theories.
all of our theories of what we think is going to happen, what we'd like to happen.
Thoughts that I have that Cam is too dumb to actually have.
Cam is just there to be pretty. He's just there to be pretty. Just the shiny
Cam.
shoot, this shiny suit, and a super sword. Those are his powers. I like it. He's the pretty
I
one now.
mean,
He's the pretty one now. It's fine.
all right, I'm definitely gonna have to rewatch.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I say it at least multiple times. Like, please don't watch this portion. And I'm like, please don't watch this portion. Just let it
So
go.
watch it twice.
So I need to not just watch it, but watch it with a notepad so I can take extensive notes. Got it.
Should have edited and put the Aaron skip to time code.
Yeah, I know. Like, I need to go through and just be like, nope, don't look at moment this to moment this. Just ignore that whole thing. It was, well, the computer broke, weird shit happened, just skip through it.
Did you guys answer my question?
We did.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
did it as the question of the day, so it was the first question. So you can watch that. Yes.
Oh, Miss Violent Violet, I don't need to use Keone's backstory against her. I'll make up Keone's backstory for her.
Yeah, I went through the whole process.
I told you having no backstory wouldn't work.
I know. I went through the whole process. I was like, I gave him like a kind of vague backstory, and he fucked me with it. I gave a very detailed backstory where I wrote a novel about it. He fucked me on it. I was like, maybe if I just give him nothing. I'm just nothing. And they were like, no, that won't work.
I very
either.
quickly pointed out that just means she gave you everything.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. And I guess I'm just messed. I'm just fucked. But it's all right.
I mean, look, I've said this before, and I do mean it. When you write something into a backstory, I take that as an invitation that says, I want to explore this.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily to use it against you, but you are saying, this is something I want to explore with this character.
Yeah,
It would be rude.
I'm just really fearful because so far my parents have been very happy, and it just makes me nervous every time they're still very happy.
Okay, so honestly, and Puppy,
Yeah.
I have enough to mess with you. I don't need to mess with your adopted parents.
That is true. That is very true. That is very true. That is true.
Until you find out that her adopted dad is Collapsar.
No. You find out her adopted dad is Archer.
That's not possible. It's already been-
Yeah.
No,
Everybody's Archer.
Go back and rewatch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Archer Blackwell is everybody who's not a player character.
He he's having his consciousness implanted into other people.
Just a
So is
plot.
Riley Archer Blackwell?
Not yet.
That's what happened when Roger attacked her.
She disappears for more than 24 hours.
We'll
She is
all
the
be sus.
top list.
Yeah, she is added to the whiteboard of doom. If she goes incommunicado for more than 24 hours on the whiteboard
You
of
guys
doom.
have been suspicious of her since season 1.
It's valid.
See, that's where Ethan's going to end up. Everybody but Ethan will be Archer Blackwell. by the end of season.
I'm just gonna say that, y'all clearly do not realize the reverence I have for Elle Woods.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to give Riley trauma, but I will state this publicly on the stream. There is 0 chance of Riley being evil.
That doesn't mean she won't be a supervillain.
I didn't say that. I just said there is 0 chance of her being evil.
And we've already determined that being evil doesn't count when you're mind controlled. So.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So we've already determined that.
I mean, come on, let's face it. Reyna is not evil, but I just essentially turned her into Dark Phoenix, so.
That's true.
But she doesn't want to hurt Cindy.
That makes one of
She's
us.
nothing but kind and supportive of Sydney, and Sydney wants to kill her for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We explored a lot of that too.
I'm looking forward to watching it.
All right. So with all of that fun, we will say goodnight. Good luck. Goodbye. Make sure everyone plays the game.
The GMs.
Okay, we're off. Oh my god, my
Non-awkward Calvin wave.
My face hurts so
That was
bad.
less awkward.
I said non-awkward.
Yeah. Because I didn't have to do a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have to left-hand wave.
Oh, my face hurts so bad from laughing, guys.